Can you hear us now? Hopefully you can hear us.
All right, it's 3 o'clock. So we had the microphone muted. Can you hear us now?
Yeah, I think everybody can hear us.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. All right.
How's everybody doing today? This is good. We got folks
Okay,
slowly
so
joining
this
on.
is
Good.
going to be interactive. So you have a chat feature, so type your questions in, comments in, and this is live office hours. You ready, babe?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, let's do it. We're excited. We just came up with this idea this week, and we just wanted to just have a space where we all could come together and just talk through some real live issues, challenges, just to be together in a space and help each other. So that's what this moment is about.
People come to us all the time. We're always talking to somebody about something. And so we figured, hey, let's just give our folks on Facebook the opportunity to just ask us any questions. And then we're going to just talk about some things that have been on our mind. We're not going to be on here all day either. So we'll
Less
keep
than
it
30 minutes.
short and
Office
sweet.
hours are short. Professors have lazy lives. So
No, actually, we have busy lives. We got a bunch of work to do. So
all right, so we're going to start this with the black moment. I just came up with that last night. We're going to call it the black moment. So as everyone knows, today marks the 57th March on Washington. So that's a pretty big day.
yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
It's a lot going on. I think back in 63 was the first March on Washington, and now here we are in 2020. Seems like we're still marching for the same reasons we were marching for in the 60s.
Very much so.
Yeah.
We're still looking for those equal rights and racial justice. And with the recent news, what's happening, it's just another shooting. As a mom of brown
Yeah.
boys and just as a black woman, it just disheartens me so much. It just goes all through my body. Isaac, how does that make you feel with everything that you see in the news? And now 57 years later, we're still marching on
Yeah.
Washington for very similar reasons.
It makes me feel uncomfortable, to be honest with you, because again, I'm a black man. We have 3 black boys, and you try not to worry, but it's just one of those things. You're just always watching your back. You don't know if you're ever going to be a target, or what the story is going to be if you are a target, and what from your past they're going to dig up and try to use to villainize you.
So type in the
Yeah.
chat. Tell me how you feel in this day and age when you're driving in a car and the police pulls up behind you without any lights, just riding behind you. How does that make you feel? What emotions do you feel? Type that in the chat. We really want to hear it. We want to know.
That happened to me last week. I went to go pick up some food for us. I don't even think I told you about this, but I went to Burger Republic, and when I parked the car, there was a car behind me, and there were 2 guys in it. They were police, but I didn't know it because it was an unmarked car. So when I came back to the car, they were watching me, and I was watching them, and I was thinking, what can I not do wrong in this moment
Yeah.
to get stopped with my chicken wings?
That's our favorite thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Yvette very scared and she's so tired. I feel exhausted by it.
I'm
It's
exhausted.
a constant.
Yeah, I'm exhausted.
Yeah, completely exhausted. So we want to drop some tips in here. We know that everyone's going to get out to vote. That everyone's on the chat. We know. We believe in you. We trust that you're going to vote.
And we know who you're voting for.
Have your vote. And so we just wanted to each share one thing. And if you can drop in the chat, share with others, what's one thing that we can do to move, to progress, to not keep having the same conversations about racial equality, racial justice, equal pay, don't shoot, get off our necks. I mean, it's like we keep having the same conversations, the same discussions. So what are some things that we can do? Isaac?
Yeah. It's a tough one because you and I were talking earlier, and we're trying to wonder if all of what we're doing is effective and if it actually can drive change. I think what's worked for me is using my voice and telling my story with this type of, with what people are experiencing, because I don't know that folks really realize, like, everyday people are dealing with racism in different ways. And when you speak out about it, I think it helps. We need more people from different walks of life using their voice. Submit an op-ed to the Tennessean or your local paper. I did that. It got out there. People read it and got calls, and folks were shocked, like, oh, wow, you're a black college professor and you deal with racism? Yes, I do. You do. And so share your story. I think that's one of the best things anybody can do. Yeah. What about you?
At Belmont, I recently let my feelings be known to the College of Business dean. And that was a bold movement.
Yeah.
Because that's my boss.
Yeah.
And when we were having when we were having the protest, and later that night it turned into somewhat riots, there were people who weren't as positive and started vandalizing the Capitol, and I was just so hurt. And we called the boys in and we said, guys, come on, we want you to sit down and look at this so you're aware of what's happening and why it's happening. And I wrote a long letter to my dean, my College of Business dean, and I told her what it feels like to be a black woman in America in this day and age, so many years past the Emancipation Proclamation, all these laws that were supposed to help us, right? All the marches, all the protests, all the years of struggle. And I let her know how I feel, like Yvette said, scared, as Kevin Bazille said, very nervous. It's like you always have this apprehension when you're around a police officer. And so I let her know how I felt. And that's what I would encourage everyone to do. Let them know your feelings, your emotions are real. Sometimes they see us and for some reason they don't associate us. So because I'm at a predominantly white institution, I don't think that they see me as the general. I don't know why, but I always get this different feel. I still get slighted often at my job, but I wanted to let her know how I felt and what it feels like to, even if a police officer is behind me. And I was amazed because she wrote then a letter to the college and let everyone know that she doesn't stand for racism. It has no place in our college. It has no place in her heart or her home. And she's sorry for what has been happening, and she vowed to do her best. And she immediately, of course, created a new task force, which she asked me to be a part of. But it's about putting some kind of action out there and taking a stand. And so I would encourage each of you, with the people that you work with, just let them know how these things make you feel, so that they don't just go on business as usual. Okay.
Latoya says she's more nervous for her two black sons. Anybody with black boys, we feel you. We have three, and it's tough.
We always talk to them. Have the conversation, and I know several people on here, I know you have the same conversation with your children. Let them know this is a real situation. Let them know what to do in those circumstances, and let them know this is the world that you live in. We don't want them to grow up not knowing what's happening.
Now here Kevin says build a Wakanda. Now what's interesting, when we were in Ghana earlier this year, you didn't feel the same energy. If you think about it, when we were there, we just were in the environment. We didn't feel like a target. We didn't feel threatened in any way. It's interesting, but when you're black and you're in America, you have to be aware of the fact that you're black. And I don't really even know if that's fair. It just is what it is, and it's what makes it exhausting. Always having to be aware of the fact that you're black in whatever space that you're in. So
all right, so let's move on.
Sure.
But we definitely want to take a black moment and come together with everybody. So thank you for chiming in and giving us your thoughts and ideas of what we can do, and let's just keep pressing forward. So now we want to get into some other topics. What are some things that you want to talk about?
What's on you guys?
What's on your mind? And not even just talk about. We're professors, and so we do a lot of research and we read a lot every day. We're always reading and researching. So there may be some topics that you want to know more about. We want to share what we know, and then we want you to also type in and share what tips you have, so that this can be somewhat of a community. We can just help each other. So if it's something about early retirement, it's about The other day, someone was asking me what's the difference between a 401k and a 403b and a 457b.
Right.
And I know all that's confusing. What's the difference between a Roth IRA? What's the difference between a traditional IRA? What are some things people come to you
Virtual
about?
school. I'm sure everybody's trying to figure out
life with virtual school.
Might need some help with that. Somebody said something to me about some relationships before. Somebody said something about being black and African. But we want to hear from you guys. So somebody drop some stuff in the comments, because we're going to just talk about what is on your mind. That's the whole idea behind this office hours concept. When students come to our office hours, we're literally there for them to talk about what it is that they may have on their mind. Okay, Catherine Clay says closing the wealth gaps.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. So the whole idea behind the wealth gap, just to explain it for those that may not be familiar with it, what the research shows and what the data shows is that Caucasian Americans have, many multiples of wealth compared to minority communities, particularly black and Hispanic. And I think a big part of it is financial literacy, and what you were just referring to about retirement planning and wealth planning and wealth accumulation. Those are some things that I think can address the wealth gap. We also know that entrepreneurship is a way to close the wealth gap. Look at Bezos. What did he just hit?
200
billion. Bezos is worth 200 billion through entrepreneurship. He started a business. He created a $200 billion, legacy through business ownership. So let's talk
about that. So let's dig a little bit deeper into it, because I want you to have some actionable takeaways. So one thing is saving for the long term. So we all know that debt is a big part of the United States. It's just embedded in the United States to have debt. So you want to try to pay that off, of course, but you also need to have a mind to invest.
Right.
So one of the ways you can do that is if your workplace has a retirement option, like a 401k, invest in that. I don't care if you start with $10 a paycheck. Just start, because the money multiplies. All right, it multiplies over time. The stock market has never gone to zero. All right, and a lot of people say, well, I don't want to put my money in the stock market and then it crashes. It's going to crash at some point. It will. However, it's not ever crashed to zero, and it has always rebounded way more than what it may have fallen to. So keep that in mind. Most of the wealthy got wealthy either through real estate or through the stock market. Yeah. Majority of them real estate or stock market, period. And so you want to put some money into the stock market. I'm a big believer in the stock market. Many people know I'm on a path to early retirement within the next 2 to 5 years, to being financially independent. And so you definitely want to put money in the stock market, because it's just money that's just going to grow. So you can do that through your workplace. If your workplace doesn't have it, you can start something called a Roth IRA. You could start it anywhere, any bank. Vanguard is who I use. Some of my people on here, Kenneth and Martige's on here, I know they use Vanguard. Some people use Fidelity. Start your Roth IRA. You can put up to $6,000 in it per year. That's after tax money, and it will grow. I'm not going to get too long-winded on in the minutia of that, but that's some takeaways of how you can get started.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another piece of that too, because like you said, not everybody may have an employer that offers them a retirement program. Let's say somebody is an entrepreneur. They own their own business, and what if they have challenges with being able to put money away to invest? Something that we've talked about before is maybe the whole idea of minimalism. And we live very basic lives. If you came and saw where we live, we don't have a whole lot. We try to keep it simple, but what that's allowed us to do is direct more of our money towards savings, investments, or just other things that are important. So I've talked to people who say, well, I don't make a lot of money. I don't have a lot of money to invest. There are likely some things that you could scale back on. For example, I had this Starbucks habit. So I stopped going to Starbucks as much prior to COVID, and I was finding that I was saving maybe $60 a month just by not going to Starbucks 2 or 3 times a week. 60 times 12, 720.
Yeah.
Almost $1,000 that I could have just saved, not really thinking about it.
Seriously, look at what you spend money on. For example, your mobile phone bill. Yeah, Kenneth, VTSAX.
Yeah.
Think about what you spend money on. Even something like your mobile phone. So I had Verizon for years. Before that, I had Sprint. And everyone on here probably has a mobile phone bill that's either close to $100 or more than $100. Yep. Isaac's mobile phone
I was paying $120 to AT&T,
for one,
and it's just
him. So, and I'm sure
whatever, yeah.
if you can agree to, if your bill is close to $100, put that in the chat. So we switched to Mint Mobile. And it's so cheap. It's so cheap. I can't even remember how cheap it is. We pay it once a year. I pay, I think maybe $60 for the whole year. 50 maybe.
It
might be $50 for the entire year.
Yeah.
It uses the T-Mobile platform, and look how much money I save. From close to $100 per month to only $50 1 year. And everybody on here can do the math on that. All right, and it's simple. And somebody say, well, I heard if you go around a mountain in Atlanta, then it won't work. Well,
probably not.
It might not for that 10 minutes or 15 minutes, and then you'll be fine.
So
but, yeah,
let me just kind of speak on that. Jamie says over 100.
Yeah.
I was spending over $120 a month on my cell phone bill, had unlimited data with AT&T, and Keisha said you should look at Mint Mobile.
Yeah.
So I switched to Mint Mobile. And they are using T-Mobile's towers. So they don't own T-Mobile's towers. They're just leasing space, leasing spectrum coverage on their towers. I'm paying on average $30 a month for my cellular service. I have the 12 gig plan. And just to be honest, it works for me about 90% of the time. If I'm at home and I'm in Nashville, I'm good. I drove to the DC area. When I got to Virginia, I hit a few dead spots. Outside of that, it works. And for the cost savings, it definitely works. So I'm comfortable with having a few dead spots and not having to give AT&T $120 a month. And I'm saving $90 a month on my cell phone bill.
So it's $15 a month for 3 gigabytes. Yep. Of course, this is 4G.
Right.
8 gigabytes is $20 a month, and 12 gigabytes is $25 a month.
Yeah. There you go.
That's a no-brainer
for the year.
And then you can pay, pay the whole year, and it's just a no-brainer. So that is one thing. We, of course, got rid of cable.
And we don't work for them. We're not promoting them. We're just trying to share some tips.
No, we're not putting anything in there.
Yeah.
The service. So several people are asking about the service. The service, I don't ever have an issue with the service unless I may be traveling on a road and you get into there may be a dead spot, but it's very rare. It's not worth $100 a month and I still had issues with Verizon. I had drop calls with Verizon. If you have perfect service, drop it in the chat if you have perfect service.
Yeah.
But nobody has perfect service. You still have drop calls. You still have issues with your service. So to save me $75, $80 per month.
That's actually a good point. Service quality, if I think about my service quality with AT&T, then it's the same. Because I did have drop calls with AT&T in downtown Nashville. I did have drop calls on the highway. Yeah. Take a look at Mint Mobile, but the bigger point that we're trying to make here is look at your monthly budget and expenditures. Where can you save? If you can save that money and direct it towards investments or just savings in general, you're winning. And you don't have to have a 401k to save money on the cell phone bill.
Right.
You're just finding ways to scale back. Keisha and I have adopted minimalism because we realize what's important to us. And that's sitting on the beach. Travel is important to us. So if we can find ways to cut our spending in other areas that don't give us the same value that we get from a trip, easy, no brainer. Yeah. So we try to cut costs wherever we can because we want to be able to have good experiences.
So what are some, and go ahead and type some other things into the chat that you want to talk about as we close out this particular topic. But some other ways would be shopping at Aldi.
Oh yeah, Aldi for the win.
Shopping at Aldi, which I know many people on here do. I don't have cable. I have the Fire Stick.
I don't have cable.
We share a Netflix.
Yep. Yep.
What else? We still like to eat out, but we try to be wiser about that. Go when there's specials, or if we have, when there's 5 of us,
Yeah.
we think about, okay,
Where can we go?
Where has children eat free? We should just try to think about it.
Yeah. And this is something that Keisha helped me understand, because the way in which I was raised and taught about money was a little bit different and not productive towards where I wanted to go. But cutting
Goodwill,
Goodwill. Oh, we've won at Goodwill.
Oh.
Look, we've come up at the Goodwill.
Offer up.
Offer up. So
no,
look,
we're serious. Like Goodwill.
We're both
a can of spray paint.
We're both college professors. We both have advanced degrees. We do well, right? But we try to find ways to be economical, because what really matters to us is having a quality life and good experiences. I lived a life where I had all the newest tech gadgets, where I just spent, and I have nothing to show for it. And so what I've been able to do now is really just think about what's important. And then whatever's not important, I don't spend. So I don't shop. I don't really buy clothes. I don't.
Yeah.
I just don't. It's just pointless. I'd rather be able to put
the
that
money
money away.
You probably say, "Oh, that's such nice clothes you have on."
Yeah, we got these outfits
this
made
might
in
have
Ghana.
been
This was like
$10 in Ghana,
probably
maybe, for this dress.
$5
Yeah.
in U.S. dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah, $5 to get this tailored. You got that tailored. Yeah,
the whole dress.
Look, we're trying to hack life. We're life hackers.
Definitely. Yeah.
We're life
Some
hackers.
of you may call that cheap. And that's okay too.
I don't call it cheap. I call it being smart, because if I'm saving $90 a month on my cell phone bill times 12, I'm winning.
And that's not the only thing. I mean, we could go through 15 different things that we do that just.
Yeah.
I mean, I have virtually. I mean, the expenses are so low. My expenses is just so low.
Yeah.
We try to keep that low.
Yeah, definitely cable. Cut cable. You don't need cable. Anybody who has cable, just cut it. You can get most of that stuff online. All right. What else you guys want to hear about? Give us some more topics.
Frugal.
Somebody said frugal. What are some other topics that you want to hear about? Somebody else put something else?
Billions of black dollars are spent in clothing and beauty products. Support black businesses.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Catherine,
let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that. So I love to take care of my hair. I know most of us do. And Netta's Naturals is a black-owned business that I love. Netta's Naturals. She has that's where I get my hair products. Netta's Naturals. And I was having an issue. I don't remember what happened, but I was starting to have some thinning in just one spot of my hair. And I started using this product that she has, and my hair is just it's just taking off. And I because I just use it all over. So Netta's Naturals is one, a black-owned business. What's another? Drop a black-owned business in the chat for everybody.
Yeah.
Drop that.
Well, we try to do a lot of our spending just with people of color, businesses of color, black people. So, for example, I had a birthday recently, and Keisha got me the most amazing cake. Shout out to Kirby, Kanemi Kitchen. We could have gone anywhere. Try to add, maybe. We could have gone anywhere and gotten a cake made. Keisha reached out to Kirby Miller. We got a cake from Kanemi Kitchen. So we just try to find what is it that we're trying to do. Where can we go and buy black? So we were looking for some food a couple of weeks ago, and we were going to head over to Hugh Baby's to get a veggie burger. And then I said, what about Rhythm and Spice? We went to check it out, black-owned spot on Jefferson Street. There's enough volume of black business online, out brick and mortar in your neighborhoods, where you can put your money to work in that way, and our community can benefit from it. So definitely do that. And while you're at it, there's a book called Our Black Year by Maggie Anderson. And the book talks about her family's effort to try to spend an entire year only buying black. Now, let's think about this. Imagine if in January you said, we're only going to spend money with a black business in 2021. So you can't spend the money unless it goes with the black business. Think about how different your life is. Think about how challenging that would be. So we need to put our money into black businesses so that we can also get more black businesses in our economy so that we can have more services. We need black gas stations. We need black schools. We need it all black. So What you got? Somebody else?
I'm just typing
somebody
in
said
some
Kirby's
different.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay. Are there any resources
Yeah.
available to find Black-owned businesses? So,
Oh.
Black Business Boom is a business that's created by Danielle McGee. Shout out to Danielle McGee, based here in Nashville. And she has a repository of Black businesses where you can go
Yeah.
and
This
find a
website.
lot of businesses in her database. So look up Black Business Boom, Danielle McGee.
Jamie, drop yours too.
Oh yeah, J
Jamie.
Clay Creation. So we got some really nice Juneteenth shirts made. Jamie Clay made those for us. Even Beyonce's team put together a listing of Black-owned businesses in every state that they're recommending people work with. So there's all kind of stuff out there. I think there's a blackbusiness.com directory that has a whole bunch of different businesses across the country. So yeah, definitely a good way to find out about Black businesses.
All right, so
What
we
else
have
we got
one
in
more
there?
question. What is the best credit card to hack for 2020? So that's a good one. There are a couple that I would recommend for right now. The Southwest, and and there's a couple of ways you could do this. If you're looking for travel, which is what we pretty much are looking for,
Yeah.
the Southwest credit card is giving 65,000 Southwest miles. And I'm sure we all know that Southwest is the low-cost leader. Spirit is trying to take their market share, but 65,000 points for the Southwest credit card. If you have a business, you can also get the business credit card, which is, I don't know, 50,000 miles or so. Those two together would qualify you for something called a Southwest Companion Pass. Now, the Companion Pass is the hack of a lifetime.
We've taken advantage of that.
This means that anytime, let's say that I qualify for the Companion Pass today's, let's just say September 1st. For the rest of 2020 and all of 2021, anytime I fly, I could also take a companion with me for free.
Save the money.
That is the biggest hack of all time. If you're not on top of the Southwest Companion Pass, you really have to do it. So you can do it for this year and next year, and then the following year let your spouse do it. Get the Southwest card and the Southwest business card. Those two together, get the Companion Pass. The other card I would highly recommend is the Chase Sapphire, because they give you discounts on travel. So there are others that you can do with that. If you're looking for cash back, I would have to do a little more research on those right now, because the main thing that I look for is the points and the travel, and to just stack my points as much as possible. So those are two. Baymar Travel. Kirsten, can you drop the actual, is it, link to it.
Yeah, link to the website.
Link to your handle.
Jackie
Put your handle
said,
in there.
yes, Companion Pass. Jackie, we feel you on that.
Yes.
That fly free is
It's
somebody.
everything.
Okay, Laurenette said Titans published a Black resource guide.
Okay.
So we didn't know about that. That's
if
good.
you find that, go ahead and post it in here as well. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, give us another question. We'll do one more. Okay.
Yeah, last question, and then we're going to end with our African moment. And you do not want to miss the African moment. You do not want to miss it. Okay, last question. Do you have any tips on managing student loan debt? The best way you can manage student loan debt is to get on fire about it. You have to put every dollar into it. So there's a group that I'm in called, I linked you, Kevin, of 80/20 Fitness as well. So there is a group. It's called No Spend, and every once in a while, and this is something that I keep from you. I don't tell you this sometimes.
Look,
see, it's all coming out
got all
live.
these secrets.
I know, it's all come out. What it's called, No Spend. So every month you can challenge yourself to not spend any money for that month, except for food, of course. You have to buy food and gas, but other than that, you can't spend money. You just can't.
Yeah.
So those times I'm like, hey babe, I'm just gonna go to the store and get us some food to cook tonight. Yeah. And you're like, okay, yeah. And you eat so good every day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's like, man, she's really doing a lot of cooking this week.
Yes,
it's because I'm trying to make us both not spend any money. So that's a goal. So that is one of the sacrifices you might have to do to pay that student loan debt off. Paying student loan debt off is a sacrifice. You're going to have to sacrifice something. It's not going to be comfortable. I had student loan debt. And I just put all of my money, of course, once I had an emergency fund, because you got to have a little cushion in case something happens. But I put every penny to the debt to get it paid off. It's really the best way to do it. And you get it just done so much faster when you do it that way.
And then you can also look at loan consolidation that may help you get a lower interest rate, which will either bring your payment down or reduce your total payment overall. So that's something that people do. And then there are certain career paths, certain places that you may live and work, or certain job categories that offer loan forgiveness programs. So definitely see what you may qualify for those as well. Those are a lot harder to come by, but they do have them. I know people that have taken advantage of those as well.
Exactly. So look into that. You may be surprised. You may be able to get a loan forgiveness. One of those other travel hacks is, especially if you, and Jackie, this may go for you too. When you're at the Goodwill, ask what discounts. Teachers get discounts at the Goodwill. As if you need another discount at the Goodwill.
Oh, look, we use discounts everywhere.
The teacher discount everywhere.
Teacher discount. We're college professors. We're still teachers, right? Teachers. So, you know, even if you're adjunct somewhere, you're a teacher.
Substitute teacher.
You're still
teaching.
That's
a great way to make money during,
you
know, maybe you just need some extra money. Maybe you work.
That's
well,
true.
I know right now that a lot of the schools are not in, some are in, but just always keep that in the back pocket too.
Remember how much we used to go to Sedona on the Tuesday, the Teacher Tuesday?
Does anybody remember anybody in Nashville? Sedona had a $10 salmon or a $10 steak on Tuesdays, and you would go on Tuesdays, and it was like,
that would be
everybody
our,
was there.
Packed.
That would be our day to eat out.
So maybe we should do no spend for September. What you think?
Ooh, who would be down for that? Jackie
said, "I still use my TSU ID."
Well, she still looks like a college student. So Jackie's got it going on.
Bonus points to Jackie for still using her college ID. Oh man. Yeah.
All right, so so it's 3:31. We said we wouldn't keep you longer than 30 minutes because, you know, we've got, we have to take naps. Professors have naps.
You got to take a nap. I got some
have to take
emails
naps every day.
Yeah.
I'm a napper. Okay, so for the African moment, this is our last thing. Thank you, everyone, for hanging in there with us, asking such great questions. All right, so all of us here have, when we were growing up, we likely all had chores, right? You had chores. Type it in the comment. What did you have to do? Everybody had chores. You had to sweep, or you had to mop, or you know, you had to dust. You had to do something. You had to vacuum. You had to do something, right? Your mama was not allowing you to not just be sitting around. So I have a question for you, Isaac. So we want to link together the African culture with the Black culture, and many people have asked us more about that. So I want to know, and I'm sure others out here want to know, when you were growing up, so you know that Isaac comes from a Ghanaian family, wonderful family, love them, who they migrated to the United States. His parents did, and he was first generation born in the United States from his parents. And so we want to know, did you have chores? And I don't want to know what the chores were. He's laughing because you have to use your accent. And I don't know if anyone here has ever heard his accent. Okay?
Oh,
but
man.
I love it. You got to do it. So
I don't know why I let her talk me into doing this, but
had to do everything. So I want to know.
I'm gonna respond to this, but I'm gonna respond as if I were my father.
Yes.
Talking to me.
Yeah. Okay. Come on.
Isaac, this morning when you wake up, I want you to sweep the kitchen. When you finish sweeping the kitchen, sweep it again. And then sweep it one more time, so that you know it's clean. When you finish sweeping the kitchen, I want you to go outside and cut the yard. I know you cut it yesterday. Cut it again today, so that we know it's finished. And then come back in the house and clean the bathroom. Scrub it well. Then you can go and play with your friends. Do those things and you can go.
Okay, now once you've done these chores and your dad, we gotta know, and he checks behind you, right? Does he check behind you?
Yeah, he would check behind you.
And would it be to his satisfaction?
No. So if you know my dad, he would give you some chores to do, and for example, he would say, "Look, everybody's laughing now. This must be a delay."
Keep going. It gets better.
My dad would say, he'd give you the chore to do, right? So you'd go in there and do whatever. So let's just say, okay, sweeping. Right, all right. So he asked you to sweep the kitchen. So I go in there, get the broom, sweep the kitchen, get the dustpan, clean it all up. I'm sitting on the couch chilling. My dad, you'll hear him in the background. Isaac, what are you doing? And I'm like, Dad, I'm finished. No. Come. Did you sweep? Yeah, I swept. Where did you sweep? I swept the floor in the kitchen. No, you didn't sweep this floor. And I say, Dad, go look in the trash can. It's all in the trash can. So my dad would get the broom and he'll start sweeping. Is this sweeping? Is this sweeping? Is this sweeping? And by the time he's done, it's like I never swept. He found stuff from behind the fridge, from under the kitchen table, under the oven. And it's like, damn, I guess I didn't sweep. And so he would say, sweep again. I will come and check. So what he was teaching us is that you might have thought that you did a thorough job, but you didn't. So when you think you've done a thorough job, do it again, and then do it again. And then you can say you're done. So he was notorious for asking you to do something and then coming behind you and then showing you that you actually didn't do what you thought you did. So you got to do it again. Because again, you got to think about it. Being a black kid growing up with African parents, you trying to get out the house and go play. And his whole idea is to keep you from going outside to play. So
I love that.
He's just coming up with chores.
Is this sweeping?
Is this sweeping? You didn't sweep. You said you cut the yard. You didn't cut the yard. Go and bring the lawnmower and cut the yard. I'm like, damn, man, this dude is hazing us. But that's how, because of that, now I'm thorough. Yep, my dad. Okay, Jackie said he might use the white glove method. Yeah, my dad would go pull out his something and find all kind of whatever. He would, man, my pops, man, he really put us to work.
All right. Thank you so much, Isaac, for sharing that. I love that. I love hearing the stories.
She gets a kick out of that accent.
I get a kick out of it. I love that accent. I love accents. I just love accents. All right. So thank you so much. We're going to keep this short and sweet. This was fun. If you had fun, let us know. And think of some more topics that we can talk about next time.
Yeah, we're going to get back on next week. So, look, there's a lot of stuff happening in this COVID space, and we're seeing a lot of people online talking about a lot of things. But, again, we have people that always come to us. They want our perspective. We're always sharing our thoughts. So we figured, why not get on Facebook and talk to the people that follow us or that are in our network. So we'll get back on.
I like that you shared, because, again, it's not just us talking at you or us talking to each other. Yeah. But we want to hear what you have and what tips. You gave us a lot of great tips too. Goodwill. Yeah.
So do us a favor. Share this video because folks can go back and watch it. Yeah. And then we're going to post again about being on next Friday at some point in time. When you see that, share it. This is the first time we're doing it.
We just came up with this idea.
We literally came up with this week because folks are always trying to hear from us. So we'll keep it going and hopefully we'll be able to build momentum. But we just want to hear from you guys. We want to know what's on your mind. So
thank you.
Thanks for the feedback and continue to drop some comments in the post. We'll read these and then see what we can talk about next week.
And we'll have another African moment.
Oh my goodness. Another African moment?
Another African moment.
Hold on. So then you got to start talking like your mom. My
grandma Margaret.
You got to do an accent from your family.
I can't do it because you're just so good at it.
No. You can do an accent. Don't you guys want to hear her talk about her family experience in her accent? Yes. So we're going to do that next week.
That's my grandmother. Okay. All right. Bye.
All right. Y'all take care.